Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, and welcome to the Steadfast and Loyal podcast.
You gotta light 'em up before they burn it down. Better dig deep and put 'em in the ground. Blood on their hands, they're hellbound. Save us all. Ooh, they're gonna burn it down. Save us all before they burn it down.
Hey, greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the Steadfast and Loyal podcast. And I've always reiterated how, as Tip O'Neill once said, all politics are local. And it's so important we get engaged in our local level politics. But unfortunately, that's where you have the least amount of voter participation. Now, we just finished with our municipal level elections, local elections here in the state of Texas. Well, there is a runoff for one position up in Collin County, which is one of the counties that's a suburban county to Dallas-Fort Worth, being in Dallas County or Tarrant County. And Collin County is really important, and the left really wants to control Collin County. That's part of their spread of progressive socialism here in North Texas. So the Collin County College Trustee Board will have a runoff election, and we have the two candidates that are involved in the runoff election, and that's Kathy Alexander and Jay Sad. Sad, did I say it right? Okay.
It's like unhappy.
See, unhappy. But we want to make the left unhappy.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourselves, Kathy first, and then we'll go to Jay.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the issues that are surrounding this Collin County College trustee race.
Well, I'm a native Texan. My dad was a Marine, came home and fell in love with his across-the-way neighbor, my mom.
There you go.
And I graduated from Sunset High School, and so did my mother years before, of course. So we're used to being in the Dallas area. Grew up in Oak Cliff, Stevens Park. I got my degree from Southern Methodist University in Dallas.
Go Ponies, huh?
Go Ponies. And then graduate work was done at University of Oklahoma. So when I know.
That ain't good. It was sooner in Texas.
So the first thing I did, my first job assignment was at the McComb School of Business at the University of Texas at Austin. So I was teaching all newly admitted students to the College of Business. And this is when the internet started, when we were starting to use it. And I said, one of their assignments was look up where I've gone to graduate school and send a message to that university about upcoming events. Try to keep it, and they had to go back and find me where I went, and we had 1,500 students in my class. They shut down the University of Oklahoma. They crashed it. So that was so. The next thing I did was I came up to the University of Texas at Dallas, and I ended my career as Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Education there.
Fantastic. So you got a career in higher level education.
Yes, sir.
And that's so important in this race. Jay, how about yourself?
I was born in El Paso, growing up in El Paso, moved here, went to school at North Texas, played football at North Texas, enjoyed it, had a great time.
Super.
Decided to live in the Metroplex and have raised my family here. Lived in Collin for the last 19 years and enjoyed it. My wife is a substitute teacher. She does some substituting, and my 3 kids have all graduated from college. Glad to have them out and understand the valuable of a reasonable education.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's very important to me.
So when we talk about the Collin County college system, how big is the system and what is it focus on? I mean, I'm sure it's associate degree granting institution.
Right. Well, the college has 11 physical facilities, but they also have an internet facility. So they can reach out to people in all stages of their life. I really love this. It's called the SAIL program, and it allows people 65 and older to take a number of classes for a very low rate, just out of interest. But I attended the graduation this past weekend, and it was amazing because Dr. Matkin said those people that are earning their associate's degree
Mhm.
and also earning this weekend their high school diploma, Please Rise. And about 100 people stood up.
Wow.
It was wonderful.
That's incredible.
And it's $62 a credit hour instead of the 200 or
Oh my
something.
God, yeah.
They already have a head start of getting their 4-year degrees,
Absolutely.
if that's what they want to do, at a great rate while they're in high school.
Well, my youngest daughter got her associates from Richland College,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
part of the Dallas County system. So we're very familiar with that, and I think it's really important for young people that really aren't sure about where they want to go. It's that crawl, walk, and run concept. So how do you see the Collin County College system impacting Collin County?
Oh,
Okay. Financial impact. We
Mm-hmm.
deliver about $900 million to the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Just the college does. Kathy mentioned we have 11 campuses and one Collin.
yeah.
Collin is our largest campus now. It is our largest campus because of COVID, and we were able to expand
Yeah.
and grow as fast as we could. So there are gaps. We have the highest success ratio of the students in the state of Texas, meaning they'll either go to a 4-year degree
Mm-hmm.
or they'll get a certificate or a certification for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 36% dropout. We need to find that. That's where I think we need to figure it out. We got a great college, best in the state, probably one of the top in the country, but we still have 36% of our population not finishing.
Yeah.
Now, that's the average across the country, just so you know that, but I still think we can improve on that. And that's where I'd like to see that. Right now, we've been asked to, by the year 2030, have 60% of our population have at least a college degree or a secondary degree.
Yeah.
We're behind. The state of Texas is behind, and we're 1.5 million jobs behind. So we can't fill it at Collin College, and there's no doubt about it. But the community colleges will help across the state to fill that gap, and that's where we need to be focusing on and maintain a good, affordable college.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the trades and things of that nature, I mean, there's so many other things that we need people to be able to do to step into the gap instead of just going to the traditional 4-year college and getting, a degree in underwater basket weaving, and the next thing you know, you're a barista at Starbucks. So that's why I think that the community colleges, I'm old school, I call it
Yeah,
that,
that's fine.
but that's the gap that they can fill. Now, how's the financial standing of Collin County College? Is it doing very well?
We are ranked, I'll catch you up,
No,
because I
that's
do
right.
happen to know
That's
this. We are ranked as the second most profitable college in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Now, we have a great tax base. We have everything going in our direction. It's a young college. We
Mhm.
just opened up 4 brand new facilities this last year,
Mhm.
all of them with COVID, under budget, and on time.
Great.
So our viability ratio is the best in the state of Texas, behind one other college, and we're far above everybody else financially.
Yeah.
We're a AAA rated college, which is outstanding for a community college or what we call a local college.
Excellent. So go ahead.
Well,
Sorry.
I was going to say that people move into Collin County because we have an educated workforce.
Absolutely.
And the workforce certificates are bringing people into this county. So I don't know if anybody has recently, but if you ever had your air conditioning go out on an August day and you call a HVAC person and they say, well, we'll get to you in 2 weeks. That's really hard, especially if you have an older person in your home.
Yeah.
That our college is dedicated to helping keep our young people in our county
Mm-hmm.
earning certificates that will allow them to get into trades that will give them enough money to actually raise a family.
Yeah.
It's that linkage that keeps our people in the county. And I'm really, that's kind of where my heart is. I want to help those people that they don't necessarily need a 4-year degree.
Absolutely. Not everyone needs to have that. And as a matter of fact, my philosophical mentor, maybe you've heard of him, a guy by the name of Booker T. Washington. And when he started Tuskegee Normal and Industrial Institute, it was about 3 things: education, entrepreneurship, and self-reliance. And I think that's what we have to get back to, showing that tie. So you all are now engaged in runoff elections for these respective seats. What differentiates you, Kathy, from your opponent when you start thinking about taking Collin County College to the next level?
That's a great question. I'll have to say, my feet are firmly planted into honoring our nation and the self-reliance and motivation of students to be self-reliant.
Mm-hmm.
I am a big proponent of meritocracy. I want
Why shouldn't you be?
right.
Yeah.
I want our students not to rely on the federal government to give them a hand up. I haven't ever seen a federal program yet that's worked, that's worth their salt. There's absolutely anything that you can do on your own, you can do it better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm moving the college. That's where I want them to go. I want us to think about an effective tax rate so that we can look at when your property values go up, our tax rate should go down. It should balance out. We know what our budget is. Let's use that budget and give people a break. Um, I My dad was a Marine, and I grew up in a Marine's household. And if you didn't stand and honor the flag, um, there'd be hell to pay when you got home.
Oh, I know. My dad was a World War II veteran. My older brother was a Marine veteran from Vietnam. So that's what drove me into the military, respect and honor our nation.
Well, my opponent turns her back on the flag when they stand up to do the pledge at the board meetings. Now, there's other things that I wouldn't approve of outside of the dais, but when you're on the board and you're in the public eye and you represent Collin College, then you'd better represent it as best as you can.
I agree.
And you should reflect your boss's point of view, and the voters are our bosses.
Yes.
And so I'm not sure that there'd be very many people in Collin County that would turn their back on the American flag when it was presented. So I'm not happy about that.
Well, and the other thing is you talk about meritocracy, you talk
Yes.
about the equality of opportunity, not the equality of outcomes. And we continue to see the left want to get more control over our system of education, turn to a system of indoctrination and control academia.
Right.
And that's not what we should have. I mean, we should be enabling our future generations, not disabling our future generations. So, Jay, same question to you. What differentiates you from your runoff opponent?
I think the biggest difference is I focus on two aspects. As a board member, you really have responsibility for three things. You're responsible for the budget.
Mm-hmm.
You're responsible for the hiring and the firing of the president, and make sure the tax rate. Make sure the tax rate's appropriate for everything we do. I think, well, I know my experience, we've been able to save we were able to save residents of Collin County $8.2 million this last year on a tax break because we figured it. Okay. We're able to say, I don't think I was hitting it. So, 8 point.
She was making sure he didn't play the drums on the table.
I did.
I'm following instructions, sir. I'm following instructions,
She's
sir.
raised by Marie.
All right.
Yeah.
So, we saved $8.2 million. We'll vote on it tonight and
Okay.
finalize it for our taxpayers. We are in the lowest tax rate, second lowest tax rate in the state. We have highest success ratio, the second lowest tax rate, and now we're going to give back $8.2 million to individuals that are over age 65 and disabled.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're focusing on. I'm here to represent the taxpayer. I've been in this market, I lived in the community for 19 years.
Yeah.
So it's very important that I save the tax dollars. That's what I focus on. The other part is the students. We talked a little bit about 36% not finishing, but the 50% that do, we need to make sure they're getting good jobs.
Yes.
And we need to bring companies. We got to be pro-business. We have to attract businesses into our county.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing the right thing as far as operating an educated opportunity, an educated workforce, we can do that. So that's where we're pushing that we need to stay engaged with the working population, and we need to make sure that we're looking out for the people who are paying the taxes in our community. And that's why I'm focused on it. I understand the value of professors and the faculty and everything. 100%. They're the most important thing that we can have other than the students. The students come first, and we got to make sure they're getting the degrees and the opportunity to get an education to further themselves in the following years or the future years coming up.
Now, when is this runoff election occurring, and what do you both see as the biggest obstacle for this runoff election? I know, I think you're going to say, but what do you see as the biggest obstacle in this runoff election?
Apathy.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah,
If they say that if we can get 2%
that's incredible.
of the people that voted in this
Yeah.
past election to come back out, it'll be a big victory. So we've started a thing called the tree, and you know it's like a phone tree,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go on my website and you can sign up. You tell me what 10 people you think you can get to vote,
Absolutely.
and then we're going to ask those 10 people to contact 10 people, and then we're going to find out if they voted about 3 days into early voting that starts on May 30th.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out who's voted. We don't know how they voted. We just know if they
And then
voted.
you can follow up.
Then we can follow up. So we're encouraging people to use the tree and stay involved in the community.
Same thing for you, Jay, you think?
I think the biggest thing here is that the Democrats are saying if in the event we flip these two positions, they'll take control of the board at Collin College.
So it's the fear mongering
Yes.
again.
And so all of a sudden everybody's going to say, oh, we'll go passive and we're not going to go out and vote. We need to get out and vote.
Yeah.
We get to prove our point one time in our lives is when we get to vote. Every single chance you get to vote, you should take advantage of it. I tell my kids the same thing. Go vote. Because if you don't like the way I think, you can outvote me. You can close my vote.
Mm-hmm.
So they hope they vote for me.
Yeah.
I know they will.
Yeah.
But it's the idea behind it that you can't stop people from making that opportunity and get off the couch to go vote.
Yeah.
Because it's really the greatest opportunity we have in this country is to vote. There's a lot of people that say, I'd love to vote. I can't vote. I'm not a citizen. But the day I become a citizen, I will vote.
Yeah.
Because that's a big start.
Well, you think about the fact that your early voting starts on next Tuesday, which is the 30th. That's the day after Memorial Day.
Mhm.
Right.
And so if there's one thing that should inspire people is the men and women who have laid down their lives, gave the last full measure of devotion so that you can just do one single thing. Just get off your buttocks and go out there and cast a vote. And it may take you 10 minutes, the whole process, but they gave up a lifetime for people to be able to do that. So I think that's a very important thing to stress, especially being a daughter of a Marine. So where can people find you? What's the website? How can, make sure that they stay in touch with you? Kathy first.
Kathy, Cathie.
Mhm.
My mother's name was Allie, so she thought IE at the end of it was just fine. Cathie for Collin.com. That's my website. You get on there and we've got where you can vote, locations, times, everything is laid out at the website so they can go in there and find it. They want a yard sign, let me know.
Okay. Jay?
Similar thing. You could go to jsad.com.
SAAD.
Yes.
Mhm.
Or electjsad.com. We've got
Okay.
both of them, but I would prefer you go to electjsad.com or jsad@yahoo.com.
Yep.
And I'll give you any information you have or you need. Ask me anything. I'm open to answering questions. I have no problem answering questions. A lot of times people say, well, why do you answer that? Because you asked me the question. I think you should answer every question that is asked of you. And I do have an opinion. It may not be the same as yours, but I hope that you'll understand that there's a reason why I answered that question the way I did.
Well, I think we need to go back. Jay said that if our seats are taken by the opponents, then they will have a majority of liberal-minded folks on the board.
Leftists, yeah.
And they have already said they would put an officer at the C level at the university of the DIE kinds of.
And we just saw in the Texas State Legislature that they voted that DEI is banned from all state universities because this is cultural Marxism, and we don't need cultural Marxism in any of our schools.
Look what it's done to A&M.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Which was done in the military.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's divisive, and should not be in Collin College.
No. There's one reason you have Collin College is that for people to go in, further their education, get a certification, and be a productive member of society.
Equal opportunity.
Equality of opportunity, not equality of
That's
outcomes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And everybody asks you where you graduated from. And when you say Collin, people are proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if we feed you to go to another college, we're just as happy with that. We want to make sure you at least get your basics done. So when you go to another college, if you want to graduate from another bigger school, great. But we've given you the foundations, and that's what we want to work on, making sure everybody has the fundamental and the foundation to go on.
Every
And a great
journey.
price.
That's right. Every journey starts with the first step. Kathy Alexander, Jay Sad, thank you so very much. And folks, again, what you have to understand is that the left does not believe in the three branches of government. The executive branch, legislative, and judicial. They believe in three branches of rule: the media, the courts, and academia.
That's
And
right.
as long as we allow them to continue to control our schools and our foundations of academia, then they're going to control the narrative. They're going to raise the next generation of little progressive socialists, leftists, and Marxists. So please get out there, follow Kathy Alexander and Jay Sad if you are here in North Texas, living in Collin County, and get on that tree and call and make sure that you get people out to vote, because these elections are important and they always have the least amount of voter participation. Let's change this around, because that's what the left is depending on, is that your apathy means that you won't care. You'll keep putting your buttocks in the couch. God bless you all.
Oh, anybody that's registered to vote in Collin County, doesn't matter if you voted last time in the other, anybody that's registered to vote can vote this time.
Okay, you got it. And when does early voting start again?
May 30th.
And when's the last day of voting?
June 10th.
There you go. You got it, folks. If you don't go out and vote, I will wish upon you a very bad summer. Okay. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Semper Fi.
Before they burn it down.